Are you tired of unreliable income sources that promise wealth but end up being more active than you wanted or not providing the wealth that you were looking for? You've looked into everything from rental homes to drop shipping to crypto. In today's video, I'm going to cover 8 assets to invest in to build wealth. I'm Garrett Lynch, and I help people become financially free through real estate. So the problem is you find many people struggling with reliable income sources, leading to financial inability and stress. Those fear of those unreliable income sources are they cause a lot of issues. And so there's really 8 that I want to talk about, but there's really one that stands up at the top. So the first one is stocks. So if you're investing in stocks, you could invest in stocks that allow you to reap some benefits like dividends. So those will pay out. Typically, those are pretty small. Depends on how much stock you hold, obviously, but those are not big distributions. There are the potential for high returns, but there's also the volatility of the market, and you don't control anything that's going on in that investment. Just put your money into a E-Trade account or some other kind of mutual fund and just watch it rise and fall and hopefully it goes up enough. Then when do you exit? So that's always the trick is you've got this vehicle, or when are you just supposed to hold it to infinity? Are you going to try to exit at some point? What's your actual exit plan? There isn't really one when you're in the stock market. So you could also, the risk of that is you could lose a lot because the market falls out and you freak out and you cash out everything. That happens a lot, especially if you can't handle the emotional roller coaster that comes with investing in stocks. Then you've got bonds. Those are stability, they're predictable income, but they're just lower returns, and there's always interest rate risk with bonds as well. You've also got mutual funds, which give you diversification. There's professional management involved, but there's high fees typically, and there's always market risk, just like stocks. So then you've got business ownership. So business ownership, you have to be there's potential for really high returns on this, but you have to be pretty active in the business most times, unless it's a big enough business. But even then, there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of variables, and it requires a lot of time and effort, more than a lot of people like to have to acquire wealth. Or maybe they don't have it because they're working in their 9 to 5 job. You've got intellectual property where you can get passive income from patents and trademarks, copyrights, things like that. But there's a lot of high initial costs, and it takes time to develop for those types of things to pay off. You also got cryptocurrency. I actually like cryptocurrency because it's fun, but there's super high swings. So the markets are swinging up and down. It's much more volatile than the stock markets. And if you're not emotionally sound on those investments, you can really take a bath if you sell at the wrong time or whatever. Also, there's the risk of security. People can steal your crypto from different spots. So always have it in cold storage. You saw the FTX blow up, and that was billions of dollars of crypto that just went out the window because of some fraud. So there's those kind of things, those risks in that area as well. You've also got precious metals, which I actually like precious metals a lot. It's a great inflation hedge. It's a tangible asset, but it's subject to price volatility, and there's no cash flow. So you're just setting it and forgetting it, basically. And then you have real estate. Real estate gives you consistent cash flow, gives you the appreciation potential. So if the market goes up, which most of the time it's going up, short windows it's going down. So you obviously have to plan your exit right, your exit strategy. But generally they do rise over time. There's also tax advantages. So depending on what your status is with the government, if you're a real estate professional or not, or just a passive or active investor, you can take more advantage of it if you're a real estate professional, but you get depreciation with the assets. So over time, these assets depreciate for tax purposes, and you're able to use that to offset your income, which is a phenomenal vehicle. It's one that I love. So you're essentially doubling your income. If you were to make, let's say, $500,000 without the tax benefits of real estate, you would pay half of that essentially to the government, versus if you have it set up right, you could potentially keep all of that money to yourself. It's also a great inflation hedge. So it does hedge against inflation. It'll go up in value. Things like rents go up, expenses could go up too, but it will help. It should rise in value with the market if there's a lot of inflation. Typically, it's just one fundamental part of it. So multifamily real estate right now is one of the best investment vehicles to get into. I know that it's been recently looked at in maybe a negative light because of interest rates rising, but that's temporary. And pricing is down a lot because interest rates are up. Cap rates are really high. So you're seeing major discounts on deals right now. And so when you see that, typically it's a great time to buy. And so we are seeing all these amazing metrics in the market, and we're towards we think is the bottom of the market. In fact, we just purchased a building called the Overlook Apartments in Atlanta, and the rents were $174 below our market average comps. We went in and we've already started raising rents on that site, making it more valuable. We put in fixed rate debt, low leverage, much lower risk investment than a lot of vehicles out there. We're looking at a potential 6% cash on cash return to investors and an 18% average annual return to investors in that deal. Plus, people are going to be able to 1031 out of the deal and exit if they want. They can take their money or they can 1031 out. So we know this works. We've done this. I've done this with a couple dozen deals in my career. We own a bunch in this market right now, and it's something that we know really well. So this deal is just one example of the real estate. If you're interested in learning more about Overlook, the deal that we just did, or any future deals, or you want to get notified when we have anything in the pipeline, reach out to us at nighthawkequity.com. Click the Join the Investor Club or Invest Now button and set up a call with us, and let's chat and see if it's a fit for you. So we'd love to schedule that call. Reach out to us. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. We'll catch you guys next time.